Everyone loves a pop top. Yes, Rascal and Disco beer review with me, Disco, coming at you with another beer video from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I'm now polished at calling the Disco Arms. And in this episode of And Now for something completely different, it's another mystery beer from overseas. And this one is a mystery beer because even though I've got the bottle here in front of me, I can't read the language, so I haven't really got much of a clue what the beer is, although there are a few clues on the bottle to look at. I've deliberately not looked it up on the Internet of Things, so as not to spoil the mystery, but once I've got it into the glass, I'll go and have a look and see what I've missed. Picked this beer up from a local convenience store on my way home from the brewery last month. Walked past this store dozens of times up in Oldfield Circus in Greenford, but I don't normally walk across that side of the road, so I happened to be on that side of the road. Had a quick look in the window. It says whiskey. I imagined it was just some kind of whiskey and spirits off license, and never really considered what beers they might have in. But this lineup of beers kind of caught my eye from outside. I thought at first glance it was a row of unknown Czech beers, and as you probably know, I got a little side interest in that. But on closer inspection, on the back of the bottle, it says Produkt Polska. So we can safely assume it's a Polish beer, which I definitely know very little about, apart from, I suppose, Tyskie is about the main Polish beer that I can think of, maybe one or two others. And it's not something that I drink too often. So that and the fact that it's a pop top, everyone loves a pop top, right? And looking along the labels, I chose the brown label. I like the label; it looks like a really traditional kind of beer label. I thought it might be a darker beer, maybe some kind of dark lager or a stout. Haven't really got much of a clue after that, although quick look at the label. Let's get the old magnifying glass out. I do like the back label on the back. A bunch of people queuing up, I presume, to get into the pub. I don't know how popular that pub is, but a lot of Polish. It's all in Polish. There's the word war zone there, and traditional war zone. Apologies for my pronunciation. Like I say, I only know a smattering of Polish, the swear words that everybody learns. A couple of other words stick out there, though, in I guess the ingredients list, because I can see the word magnum, which is hop. I know of rather than anything about. Hallertauer Tradition, which I think is more of a German or is it a Czech hop, and there on the end is SARS. So there is a Czech connection just over the border. It's a 500 ml bottle and ALK 5%, which I presume means ABV, but it also says EKSTR 12% wax. So is it a 5% beer or 12% beer? It's middle of the afternoon, hoping it's 5, but again, it's a mystery beer, so find out the name of the beer. I'm not sure because there's lots of names on the front. Oh, there's that word Tradisica, Zoboviazu. So traditional kind of beer, which again makes me think it's more of a dark beer or ale or stout. It says, label on the front there, it says Pivo Siemni, but it also says Pivo Rubotniczo Ludowe. Now Pivo, if the same as Czech, means brewery or is it pub? One of the two. Definitely something to do with beer. That's the brewery part of it. It also says Filtrovani, which again makes me think of like a filtered lager. And a few other stuff on there, but really like the look of it. As I say, popped up. So let's dive in and see what we can get, see what I can find, and then maybe I'll look up afterwards and see if I was right or more probably completely wrong. At least we can see it once it's in the glass and have a better idea what it is. Well, here goes. Everyone loves a pop top. Didn't go everywhere. That's a bonus. Let's get it into the glass, see what it is. Oh, it is indeed. Yes, very nicely dark and brown. I'm pleasantly surprised, but I'm secretly, obviously, not so secretly, very pleased indeed. Proper lively. Oh, there's a big waft of maltiness just from pouring it into the glass. That is brilliant. As you can see, I'm really pleased. Big smile on my face looking at that. But I still think it's some kind of dark lager, especially there with the hops we've talked about, which again works for me. Um, could be a Baltic porter, I suppose, but then we'd have Baltic and porter on there. I would think. Don't know how are those. Any of the usual English words we have for beer absolutely actually translate. Yeah, there's a big kind of, it is a very porter-esque aroma, kind of nice malty, chocolatey biscuit aroma, and it does stand out. Not so much on the coffee, more kind of bourbon biscuits. But you also get that with dark lager, with the dark malts, chocolate malts, etc. Um, it's a lovely aroma, really. Well, for me, it is anyway, because I like the darker kind of lager sort of thing. Uh, Quite a bubbly, large bubbles, head is sticking around. Still can't quite get it all into there with the head, but yeah, let's check it out. See what we've got for not my first, but certainly one of the few Polish beers. Cheers. Oh, that is very good. All those chocolatey kind of. It's not quite chocolatey and not quite coffee. All those kind of malty flavors coming through. Um, it's quite thin initially. It's one of those kind of slightly thinner beers. The body doesn't quite come through. It's not thick and voluptuous like the head and pour would suggest. That's not a detriment. That's just how the beer style is. This one, I say, is quite bubbly. It's quite lively. As is a dark beer. Very much my kind of thing. There is no hop note in the traditional sense of,
Piwo ciemne,
yeah, no
filtrowane,
grapefruit, no
pasteryzowane,
citrus.
ważone
Maybe a
tradycyjną
touch
metodą
from the. I
fermentowań w
think the
otwartych gaciach.
Hallertau is a
which apparently means dark
bit
beer,
more of a
filtered,
hoppier
pasteurized,
kind of hop,
brewed
whereas
using a
SARS is
traditional method, fermented in
more
open vats.
sort of vegetal, sort of savoury kind of, slightly spicy kind of hop. Certainly the Czech lagers use the SARS hops. You don't get a massively overly hoppier taste. It's just part of the body of the beer. This is the case here. Definitely fairly malt forward with all the darker malts in there. So bourbon biscuits, bit of dark sugar, bit of brown sugar, uh, almost slightly edging towards kind of rum barrel kind of notes. Um, Certainly 5%. It's not 12% rum barrel age thing. I think that 12% is just a different measuring system. But it is. It's really nice beer. It's a really nice beer, very drinkable. Thinness and the carbonation just makes it kind of easier to drink. It's got a slight bittering note on the end from kind of like a more chocolatey kind of bitterness without being a massive chocolate, maybe like a cocoa powder kind of thing going on. Um, I'm enjoying it. I'd sit back and really go through this. The shop's only up the road, so I could fair easily pick up some more on the way if they keep it in stock. I think maybe have a look at those other beers because they all look quite interesting. To be fair, mostly just because I know absolutely nothing about them. Um, let's have a quick look around the Internet of Things. Bear with me. and see if I can find a bit more information on this beer. So I guess the first thing is to Google it by name, although I'm not sure which one we need to first. Pivo, Rubotniczo, Ludowe. There we are. We're definitely on the right beers.
And then I gave up Googleizing and failing to find out stuff and went back to basics and just went for a simple translation of what was on the bottle. Not going to pronounce that, but luckily Google has that translator.
Piwo ciemne, filtrowane, pasteryzowane, ważone tradycyjną metodą fermentowań w otwartych kadziach.
Which apparently means dark beer, filtered, pasteurized, brewed using a traditional method, fermented in open vats.
Yeah, so here we go. Good old translation. Yeah, so just says dark beer, Munich Pilsner, dark caramel malt with colouring, hops, Magnum, Sibylla, Hallertau Tradition. No mention of SARS on that one. Description here is the most powerful work of the PRL series will refresh even those who perform 300% of the norm and will allow you to relax before another busy day for the common good. So there we have it, somewhat inconclusively amongst translation and language barriers. I think it's a dark ale rather than lagered. I can't see any reference to it being lagered. What I have got is a lovely surprise, a very enjoyable Polish beer, a nice dark ale, lovely chocolatey notes, as I say, without being overly sweet, overly chocolatey, touch of coffee. Yeah, a little bit of toffee, I was going to say there, but also coffee, some brown sugar, kind of rum notes. A really lovely dark ale. I might have to stop off in that shop for some more and certainly check out the other range. No doubt there will be people in the comments that know much more about Polish beer than me. Do feel free to correct me, and especially my terrible pronunciation. But I really enjoyed this Polish beer. Should have learnt the Polish word for cheers.
Dzięki. Dzięki.
Google Translate says it's Dzięki, so Dzięki. And enjoy the beers wherever they come from or wherever you're drinking them. I've been Disco Rascal and Disco Beer Review. Join me again for another mystery beer. I've got a few others coming up and some other beer videos. And click the squares at the end to watch some other stuff along the way whilst you're waiting. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Dzięki.